Okay, I'll be the first one to say it. This was a hell of a good episode of One Punch Man. Probably the best episode, actually, of the entirety of One Punch Man Season 2. I mean, if not the best, it's very comparable to the episode 2 episodes ago. That was just mind-blowing. But regardless, this was a really good episode, and I'm not just saying it because it was just above the previous episodes. Obviously, or just a lot of these episodes throughout Season 2 have been really subpar, but this was a good episode for a lot of reasons. Like, it had amazing voice acting, to pacing, to fret build-up, to just funny comedy moments that people know from One Punch Man, to keeping characters actually on model. And even the CGI wasn't really that bad. The only time the CGI bugged me, truthfully, was just that moment with Genos. But besides that, it was a really good episode. So just, I will compliment an episode of One Punch Man, or just anime in general, when it was a good episode. And it was a good episode. There was just a lot of good things that this episode did. It was a step in the right direction, and I want more like this. I doubt I will, but this is a good episode. But okay, so anyways, let's talk about my boy Darkshine. I believe that's his name. That entire moment. Okay, I was dying. I actually had to stop and repeat that moment multiple times just because of how over-the-top / hilarious it was. Just seeing this man just slap this bug and all that, and he's like, ooh, look at my pecs. I'm like, oh my... Like, that was just like, no. Like, no. And he's like, hey, look at me. Look at this. And they're like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, does making you look at me kind of relieve your stress? And I'm just like, I mean, honestly, seeing someone do that would probably give me a lot of anxiety. Just like, why? Like, why are you just, like, posing like a Pillar Man from JoJo? Like, why are you doing that? But okay, jokes aside though, the beginning of the episode did a really good job with just setting up the tension of the episode and kind of the message of what has been happening. So I really like that moment to where the negotiation happening is with, the Hero Association and the Monster Association. You see how they're communicating, and the one monster is just like, hey, we want to have equality. We want to be able to live on this planet, have our own little segment, and not be hunted down by heroes. We want to have peace. That's basically what, the monster started saying. And I'm just like, wow, just the acting to the, just the way it's presented, it did sound very genuine. But then when you see how the hero is like, okay, yeah, we'll accept your offer and all that, but then we'll get rid of you afterwards. That's kind of what he was saying in his mind. In that moment, you were probably thinking, wow, the humans are kind of scummy. Like, that's a real scummy thing to do. But then, all of a sudden, the dude dies, and the monster reveals his true intentions, which falls in line with what he was trying to do, and like I said, sets the tone. He's like, do you really think we would work with humans? No. We just want to eradicate all of you, and you all to bring all of the humans, or all your main heroes, to our main headquarters in City Z. So, there's a lot of good moments at the beginning with the negotiation that set the tone, and I think that, once again, this episode just nailed it properly. But it carries over to the next scene, which the next scene is even better. We get to see the monster's perspective. And when we see the negotiation between the two factions, we thought it was just for the, the hero side, the human side, but that wasn't just the case. There's a lot of monsters that probably were able to tune in and look at the news and were like, so all the monsters are meeting up in City Z for, we could take out all the heroes for eventually we could take over the world. And so you had a bunch of monsters trying to march over into City Z to, meet up with Lord Orochi. But we also see Lord Orochi and his, entire army and how strong he is in general. Like, let's look at what he did to the Roach. As we know, Genos got messed up. He got messed up by the Roach monster. Like, he got really just messed up left and right. But you see Orochi is just instantly able to grab the man and then just end him. in a second, which is scary because it shows that Orochi's overall speed is definitely very high. He's probably way faster than Sonic, way faster than anything Genos can really deal with, and the only one that probably really could deal with him would be maybe someone like Saitama, or maybe Garou if Garou was to fight them, but that's really debatable. I highly doubt it. But the point is, though, is that it just comes down to, you know, how strong he is, and if all the S-Class heroes that they come together, can they fight him? Because there is a lot of strong monsters that were there. We clearly see a lot of monsters that were introduced, and are obviously not going to completely fall in line with some of the monsters either, because they want to be their own leader as well. They probably don't want to follow, you know, Orochi and say, like, oh, you're the supreme leader, you're the supreme king or whatever of all the monsters. Some monsters are probably not going to go with that. They're probably not going to want that at all. So there's going to probably be eternal disputes as well. But the main important part about that, though, is that the threat of the monsters is definitely building up. At least Orochi as a monster, as a final threat, at least of this arc, he's definitely becoming more and more, you know, I guess powerful, or more, I guess we're anticipating his fight. Like, we want to see what he's truly capable of, and will Saitama have to be used to bring this man down? Which, by the way, let's talk about Saitama for a second. There was another great moment at the beginning of the episode, which I think really just summarizes gaming for a lot of individuals. King demolishes Saitama in a fighting game. And I want to be honest with you, I'm not really that good at fighting games. I do like fighting games, I'm just not good at them. But I understand where Saitama's coming from. He's like, yeah, I got you pinned and all that. And when you just see King just instantly presses a few buttons and he just ends Saitama's entire career of gaming, it's scary, but it's something that actually happens. And you see the rage from Saitama, or he doesn't want to give up, but then he's like, this game, it's trash, it's a trash game, like, I hate this game, it's trash, and like, and it was the only thing he really could say, which fits so perfectly with just how gaming is in general. Like, you have these individuals, like myself, I am at fault for this. You'll be fighting someone and you're getting destroyed. And when you're getting destroyed, you're like, I hate this game. Like, I hate this game. That's what you'll say. And that's exactly what Saitama said. He's like, I hate this game. Like, seriously. Like, what the crap? But yeah, that was a great moment at the beginning of the episode too. Comedy nailed it perfectly. So, let's see. Let's get into Garou. So, Garou as a character, he definitely had a lot of characterization. I think many are going to come to realize that Garou isn't like a one-dimensional villain. There is definitely a lot about him that drives him, and he isn't just a straight-up villain either. He's more of like an anti-hero than anything else. And so, let's kind of look at that for a second. Garou, he's obviously had a relationship with the boy that's given him the hero information since, like, the beginning of, you know, Season 2. And it's been a very funny relationship, but at the same time, it really goes to show that Garou isn't necessarily vicious. He may be vicious to heroes and a hero hunter, and maybe want to root for the monsters, but he isn't someone that's necessarily evil. Like, he isn't someone that wants to just cause harm to random individuals. He doesn't want to harm, you know, just civilians. He doesn't want to hurt a kid. And that entire moment to where he's trying to stop the kid from going outside, he's like, hey kid, don't go out there, I want you to get on the ground. And when Garou actually walks outside, he's like, hey, you know, don't shoot this house and all that. And he didn't say there was a kid in there, but at the same time, he didn't want them to harm the houses because he was actually trying to protect the boy. It really just gives a little bit more insight to Garou as an individual, is that when he fights, he's not wanting to harm anyone, which it would explain why he backed off from Metal Bat. And why he didn't, you know, finish Metal Bat off was because of Metal Bat's sister that was there to, you know, stop the fight. She's like, hey, don't hurt him or whatever, and that's why he backed off. It shows that Garou is very complicated. That he is a hero hunter, but he isn't necessarily a monster, which is interesting because he is self-proclaimed to be a monster, but he really isn't a monster in terms of wanting to hurt people. He just wants to challenge heroes. So, cool stuff. I like that entire fight. It makes people, I think, really want to root for him, and that entire fight at the end, when you see him fighting all the other heroes, I think many are going to be very conflicted. They're going to be like, you know what? I want to vote for Garou. I want to cheer for Garou. I don't want to cheer for these, other heroes that are fighting him. I want to cheer for Garou because he's trying to protect the boy, but also it's fascinating to see a character like him slowly moving up and basically saying that, hey, you can't just boss me around and say, make fun of me or bully me or whatever. I can be what I want. He has a voice, and that's pretty much what he's doing. He's fighting back against the people that are constantly pushing him down, saying that something can't happen, which is kind of what he's been arguing since the beginning, is that it's not right that monsters always lose, and he just wants to prove a point that heroes don't always need to win. That's kind of what his character mainly stands for, you can see from this episode, is that he's someone that just doesn't like how heroes always win. He wants to show that they can lose as well, and monsters definitely can win, and that's kind of what he's doing throughout his journey. So, a lot of information about Garou, characterization, and all that, and I have a newfound respect for the character, and I do wonder how they're going to actually wrap up this anime too, by the way, because apparently there's only 2 episodes left. So yeah, 2 weeks left, 2 episodes left. I don't really know how they're going to really wrap this up, because I don't know how much more content is actually after this, at least in the manga that's been made and all that, like, redone with brand new art. I don't know how far ahead it is, but I'm assuming it's not that far, which is scary because with 2 episodes left, we might not ever get a continuation. It might be the end, which I think many might argue say it's a good thing if it doesn't get an anime continuation just because of how bad this season has been. But regardless, though, it just, it will suck if we don't get to see a continuation, at least in anime form. It would suck. It would be kind of sad, honestly. But I think I want to wrap it up there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you felt about this week's episode of One Punch Man Season 2. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Did you like, what happened with the hero and monster association? Did you enjoy the Garou fight? Be honest in the comments below. I'm very curious. And so with that, I love you guys. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.